I think one of the biggest things as a kid, one of the ways that we looked at growing up, when we were so anxious to grow up, it was that we wanted more freedom. Whatever that was, whether it was you first started driving and you were only allowed to drive around the neighborhood, or you weren't allowed to have friends in the car, to like just being let loose. You want freedom. When you're a kid, all you want to do is to grow up and be free. You want to do what you want, when you want, at what time you want to do it. That is the essence of growing up, is being free. And then, when you finally grow up and you're free, what do you find out? Not all it's cracked up to be, is it? It's a little different when you experience it, isn't it? It's a little different. You start to see that all these things that you have to do, whether it's getting up to go to work, and be there on time, to go to, even when you're in college, to make sure you get to class. When you get that first job, you've got to be on time. You have to stay. Your hours are not your hours. Somebody else is determining what your hours are. You don't get to do all the things that you thought you really would get to do because your responsibilities are so huge. And then what comes into the mix? So your time isn't even your own. And then all the things when it comes to romance creep into your life. And those don't just take over the rest of whatever time you have, but it takes over your thoughts and your heart and everything else. It takes over all of who you are, all these romantic kind of thoughts and infatuations. Do you feel free when you're in that state? When you're in that first love state, is it truly free? Or are you beholden to another? You see, all these things that we thought as we grew up we would be free and we'd be able to choose and decide what we want, we end up seeing that they actually, well, we're not really free at all. We're tied up. And then, as soon as you get those things sorted out, you've got the work thing figured out, the career thing, the romantic thing figured out, what comes along? Kids. Any freedom there? You're all laughing. Why are you laughing? Kids are wonderful. They're fantastic. What would we do without them? Uh-oh, empty nesters here, right? Yeah, exactly. You find that the freedom you thought you had, you don't have at all. In fact, that bedtime thing, you wish and you pray that you could go to bed at 8 o'clock again, don't you? Because you're getting 2 hours of sleep a night trying to take care of newborns. This idea of freedom is so elusive. And it's so difficult, yet it's the one thing we really, really want. All of these things in our lives hijack our time and our thoughts and our attention. The question is, all these things we thought were going to make us free, when we're wrapped up in them, we don't feel free. How do we find freedom in the midst of all of this? Because all those things I mentioned, right? Work, school, kids, romantic relationships, are they all good? Absolutely. They're all wonderful. And yet we don't feel free within them. The thing that we're going to try to help you understand over the next few weeks as we make our way to Easter is that you can be free within them. You can find freedom within them. It's not too late at whatever stage of life that you're in, no matter how encapsulated you may feel, no matter how enslaved you may feel to some of these things, it is not too late to find freedom within them. And all it takes is a simple switch in mindset and practice to make this happen.